Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Monday night, April the 9th, and markets had an ugly day today, but we had some real good trades on the long side, but that doesn't mean we're going to cover that. I'm going to do both longs and shorts today, and we're going to try to see what the long and short our best ideas are today. ANIK, Anika, as you can see, the big pop in November, and the strong, steady run up that has not violated the trend line or 50-period moving average. And at this point, if you scroll in on it, we can see that it popped out of a little three-day flag yesterday, Friday, and then today with big volume for this stock. The biggest volume, I believe, this year. Yep. The stock is moved to the top of the channel. Now, breakthrough here, and we can accelerate towards 17. So watch for that potentially. ARNA, after forming a little wedge here, may have popped out of it today. If I redraw this line, to look like that's the wedge. It started to get a breakout today and then failed at this triple top here around the 325 area. We've got to get through that to break it out. So watch for ARNA to make a move above 325 with volume and then take out the 347 level, which is key resistance for a run up towards 4.25. Dang, acting very well in here. And you can see how the stock has popped in the last 3 days from about 8.5 to 11. Our swing trade target has been met in this 11 zone, but I think it could get up to 12 before it's over, maybe 12.5 even, but we'll see what momentum does with this one. Today was a big day up, 11.4 million shares, up 97 cents, 10% gain nearly, and the volume was the best all year. GAI, well, despite the fact that it had a good day and it broke out after the big follow pop on Friday, today's volume was huge for this stock, 263,000 shares, very thinly traded stock. And actually, if we draw the wedge that formed on it, or coil, there's a large coil. You can see they broke out on Friday and followed through today. Now, looking at the long-term chart, you'll see that this calls for a potential test of these highs up in this 12.5, 13 zone. I'm not sure if we get there, but at least that would be a level which you can, excuse me, project up around this $12 zone. Although with this stock as thin as it is, gotta be very careful with this stock. MCP, on the other hand, after basing and retesting here and forming a wedge and breaking out, it formed another little mini wedge here, or flag. Today it popped. Now it didn't close great. It did back off the 35.55 area, although it reached a nominal new high at 35.79. It closed at 34.71. Still up $1.52 or 4.5%, but substantially off its high. So let's see if there is a follow-through. If we get one, I would look for 37. TSPT, big day today. Looking at the longer term trend here, we can see that on a weekly basis. This has had a massive breakout above major resistance here. Should I say a massive move up to those major resistance levels. Although it reached 1144 here and 1173 here today, it reached 12, which was a target for mine intraday today, and we got up to that level. It'd be interesting to see if we can get better volume. The volume was just okay today, although it looks better when you scroll in. It wasn't as great as it was back in this zone up here. However, it's thin enough to be traded that if it does get through this line, as you can see here, we can very easily test this 15.5 area, which would be my next target. VRNG, Viringo, well, the move of the last couple of days, last 3 days has been quite nice. After the pop in February, the pullback in coil pattern, it popped out last Thursday. Had an inside day Friday and popped back today. Now it did reach as high as 376 before closing at 336. Excuse me. It did reach as high as 376 before closing at 336, and volume was 11.5 million shares. Quite strong for that stock. Biggest in 3 days. But we're going to have to see whether it's able to get up and through the spike high from last week. That's resistance now, about 405. Should it do that, it would then take out the top of the channel and could spike up towards 5.5, 6 cent range. But first, we're going to have to see if it either is going to break through here or pull back and consolidate. Vivus really is trying to break out. It popped a week ago, pulled back. It popped again Friday and pulled back, and then today it's trying to move up a little bit. Only gained 39 cents, but 9.7 million shares is holding steady. If it can break out of this large 5-6 week coil, we can see the substantial move up on it. That's it for the long side today. Let's look at some of the shorts. Starting with alphabetically with AHGP. This is getting absolutely smashed. The long-term support today was taken out. Now it's extremely oversold short-term. I wouldn't be in a hurry, but I'd watch for some sort of perhaps follow through to the downside and then snap back towards resistance around 40, at which point I would be interested in maybe shorting for a potential move down into the low to mid 30s. APAGF cracking hard. After I showed you this wedge, this bear flag last week, look at the rollover. It's gone from 69 to 52.5 in about a week. So a little bit oversold short term, but has broken key support. It may very well see lower levels. The mid to high 50s, 40s wouldn't surprise me. APEI beginning to roll over here, perhaps. It ran up on Wednesday of last week, pulled back down, and today dropped another $1.08. The volume wasn't heavy, but if it continues to fall, we would see potentially a move down towards 33.5, and then beneath that into the high 20s or 30. ARLP, Alliance Resources, also getting creamed. Down another 392 or 7% today. That one broke when it broke the bottom of this channel and then broke through key support. It rolled over hard in the last couple sessions, dropping from 57 to 50.5, 50.42 before any kind of bounce late in the day today. Again, a little bit oversold. Look for a snapback potentially towards 55, 57 zone for a shorting opportunity. ATK, Alliant Tech on that down another 98 cents or 2% and making more new multi-month and multi-year lows. Here's the chart since 2008. The stock's been in a steady downtrend and now may be testing the lows down here. At the bottom of the channel, down around 46.7 range. First sold has been a horror show, 175 to 20, and yet no signs of a rally. Wouldn't be shocked to see 17 before it bounces. GDI Gardner Denver gave you a short up in this zone here. Came down, bounced, came down again. Falling pattern here. It looks like it could extend. We may get a snapback first to the trend channel and resistance around 64.5. If that occurs on low volume, look for a continuation of downtrend. Great Northern Iron, GNI, with the big drop, then a wedge, and then from that level, about 102 where we warned you it could drop, it's gone down to 93.75. There is some support around 92 and change. Beneath that, though, a massive top gets taken out, and we fall to 84.5. NPK also in fall away zone here. In about a year, it's dropped from 136 to 71. But at this point, after I showed you this bear wedge that formed a week and a half ago, it's moved steadily lower out of that from about 80 to 71.41 today, and yet it still has more downside to go, in my opinion, perhaps to as low as the high 60s, 68 or so. Then we'll see. OpNet apparently may be breaking this wedge that I showed you. Today it dropped 75 cents and moved underneath that support zone. If we take a look back at the channel here that it's forming on it, perhaps, we may very well see this quickly move down towards 25.6 zone. RP also dipped under support today and bounced. It was only down 31 cents, but at one point was down about $1. If you take a look at the overall pattern, it looks quite bleak, and there is key support being tested, and it may crack as well. South Jersey Industries continues to fall away, down another 72 cents today. You can see how first the wedge is broken, then this falling channel broken to the downside. A test may be forthcoming at 47.5. If that's broken, won't be a pretty sight. Look for something in the low 40s. UPL in a fall away mode as well, and broken a down channel to the downside, looking for a move to 17. WBMD, WebMed, after breaking this wedge, that flag, and this tight little flag, continues to stair step lower, and I'm looking for a test of 20. And lastly is World Acceptance, which also rallied back to the top of the channel 1, 2, 3 times in the moving average and couldn't get through it. And now it's rolled over from 65 to 58 just in the last week and a half. And we may very well see at least a test of 56.5, but wouldn't surprise me to see a test of the October low around 53.5. There's some long and short ideas for today. Fasten your seatbelts. It could get ugly the next few days. Bye-bye.